And this is Erica. And I was given the most gorgeous message for you today. Whew, it's really beautiful. Are you ready? So you were not born to be in poverty. Yes. You were born to experience life in its fullness, and all of the flowers and all of the rainbows and the beaches and the horses and the dream houses and the boats and the ocean. I live in California, so I'm a little beach crazy. Yes, you were born to have lots of freedom to taste and enjoy and appreciate and learn. Wow. So I can just totally hear your questions. It's like, how? How do I get there? 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 And sometimes people ask so loud, and then they're shown an opportunity and they say, well, that will give me one piece of chocolate, but it won't give me the chocolate factory. So I'm going to say no to the one taste, and I'm just going to wait for the big fish, the big leap, the big jump, the lottery win. I'm just not going to have any money until I get all the money. So if that's you, this meditation is exactly for you. And I know you. I was you. I get it. In fact, I get it all the time, and I understand it all the time. And so when we cast out our line, and we may ask for business or ask for funding or ask to be supported, and then perhaps when we were young, our parents slapped our hand and said, "Do not ask. You are too squeaky. Do not ask. You already have so many gifts." Yeah, not me, right? How can you ask when someone else is so hungry? And who are you to ask? And this is really playing on the desires episode, which was a week before this one. So go back and listen if you haven't heard that one. It's beautiful. So when you get a thing, a showing, a nudge, I call it an inspired action. I call it divine inspired action also. When this is shown to you, like I was shown to build my podcast Done With You program again. And I had left this program on the shelf in March of 2020, which some of you may recall is when COVID took over the consciousness of the planet. And my podcast calendar, I had all these people wanting to do a podcast, and my calendar basically went to zero. And I'm someone who realizes if no one is on my calendar, there won't be income. I've built a little bit of different things now, so I'm not so dependent on my calendar. But in that specific time and moment, it was really like a crushing blow to my podcast program. Whew. So what did you let go of because of COVID? And what could you reawaken now that the world's changing? I sang with a group of people this morning, a huge group in a huge room, and none of them were wearing masks, and it felt so beautiful. And I don't take that for granted, right? So where is it in your timeline, in your history? Was it this lifetime? Was it another lifetime? Was it so many lifetimes? Was it a vow? Was it a contract? Dear mom and dad, I will be born and I agree to be poor. I don't know. I've had that one. Yeah, that one was really good. I've had to clear that one. And I laughed because I was able to clear it. Whew. How does that feel? So today we're going to talk about how poverty is not my life meaning. It's not my life message. It's not who I am. It's not the essence of me. And so now if poverty isn't the essence of me, when I look at the life of me, the me of me, the essence of me, the spirit of me, how infinitely wealthy is that? And how much am I willing to receive just because I am, without changing, without being anything different, without learning more, without being able to teach more, without having more bestsellers? Heavens, I have over 35 number one best-selling books on Amazon. How many podcasts? I've published over 700. It's probably 800 now, but at least I know of 700 podcast episodes with all my podcasts, because I have several. How many millions of people have I already touched? And yet, how much poverty have I embraced as a way of doing what? As a way of choosing what? So whatever that is for you, whatever, I can feel it resonating. So I know this message is coming through me from God to you to say, is it time for that to be different? And are you ready? And are you willing? And are you a yes to massive wealth, more wealth, decent wealth, healthy wealth, right livelihood? Whatever it is that you are a yes to, what I'd like to ask you to do, and I know I'm challenging a lot of beliefs, is to take the critical mind and put it in a box. Every time it pops out and messes with your head and says you're not worthy or that's too much, anytime it does that, take it out, take that critical mind and just say hello to it and say, that's a really interesting poverty viewpoint that, maybe the grandparents gave me, or great grandparents, depending on your age. If you're a generation younger than me, great great grandparents, maybe they lived through depressions, wars where the women went to work and everything was rationed. Yeah, I can feel that rationing thing. The gas prices going crazy. The shortages. Wow. So all of that lack belongs in its place. It exists. It exists for a reason. And what if it was okay that the lack exists, and yet you chose to align with the wealth sort of phenom, the heaviness, the funnels that work, the payments for your programs, like my podcast Done With You program, which is just beautiful. And it's just asking to blossom with new podcasters whom could very well be listening right now, right? Considering one podcast of this show reaches at least, I don't know, a couple thousand people, it's quite likely one of you would like to hire me to coach you on your podcast, So where is it that you won't allow yourself to receive money for being and for letting others be in a container? And one of my coaches, I paid her on Instagram, and then she coached me on Voxer, which now I sort of see shifting over to Telegram. It was so cool. And seriously, it was $5,000 for 6 weeks. And only 3 calls were live. Just letting you let that sink in. So why was it that I felt so good about giving her the money and never resented it? And it was really because being in the mindset of wealth was worth everything to me, so that I could then shift that energy with my kids and leave a beautiful legacy. And I have 3 gorgeous Ys. My kids are my Ys, some of my Ys. I also have 4-legged Ys. Yeah. And then my life work is also my Y. So let's go ahead now and do a little meditation. I blab so much. I'm so appreciative of you. I really appreciate you listening to me. I really do. I really do. I really do. If you want your own podcast, my program is asking to be blabbed about. I'm hopefully the page will be nice and published. Just got the domain. It's podcastdonewithyou.com. I'll have it also on SEO for lead gen.com/podcast done-with-you. It's already there. But it wanted its own website, so I said yes. I'm pushover for a good program. So go ahead and put your feet firmly on the ground. Sit up straight with your backs very straight. Straighten your back. Push your shoulders back and stick out your chest. And then kind of tuck your butt under a little bit so you're sitting nicely on your sits bones. Your hands, I normally put my palms up and rest the backs of my hands on my knees. My knees are generally about a foot apart. My feet are firmly on the ground, and if you can be barefoot, that's good. If not, don't spend a lot of energy worrying about it. And let's do some grounding. So everything I've said, anything that lit you up, anything that got you charged, let's take that and throw it down the grounding cord, which goes from your stomach down into the center of the earth. Just throw out any of those beliefs that are no longer serving you, and you don't even know all of them. You can even just say, any of this crap that's not working for me in my life, I'm ready to let you go. I'm going to throw you down the grounding cord. Goodbye. Any beliefs that grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, dead relatives, alive relatives, spouses, children, anyone who didn't believe in the absolute essence of your beautiful being and how much you shine and you sparkle. And I can see it. I love seeing all your sparkles. I can actually kind of perceive how many of you light workers are listening, which is insane that I can do that, but it's true. And now turn yourself up just a notch. So shine your light just a little bit brighter. There you go. Now shine it up a little bit more. Shine your light out just a little bit more. And here's some really cool information. If someone can't perceive you or get you, they won't see you. So you can shine really bright and be psychic and listening and intuitive and brilliant and have great programs. And those who don't get you will simply not see you. They won't understand. They'll kind of gloss over as you speak, and they won't understand you. So you're okay to be yourself. Yeah, so go ahead and breathe earth energy up through the balls of your feet, through your knees, through your stomach, through your base of your spine, through your second chakra, through your golden center, and then up through your heart center, through your throat chakra, and up into your third eye, and up all the way into heaven, and then really this time do a download from Celestial. There's so much love for you, so much love for what you're doing, so much joy for you. Go ahead and just breathe in that beautiful celestial energy all around you and let it fill up your bank account. So put your bank account about a foot in front of you and go ahead and let it just get nice and full. Yeah, that. Actually, it's asking now to double that. So double whatever you just put in your bank account. This is just having fun. So just go ahead and see your bank account, whatever you put in it doubling. And now double that again. And now add a 0. And know that your worth could not possibly be measured by that bank account. But isn't it fun to see it grow? And just allow it to be really big. Super blasty. And now go ahead and let's just kind of tap into that bank account, knock on the door, hello, and ask it if it has any advice for you. I'm not going to tell you what mine said, although it was sufficiently interesting. And I guess that's all I'm being shown right now for you. So thank you very much for coming. You were not born to be impoverished. You were born to have all the wealth that you desire. Your desires are born of God and are God's messages speaking through you so that you may enlighten those that are near you. Remember, we influence people 8 degrees of separation out from our being. So how beautiful is that? So you matter infinitely. Okay, and I'm going to leave, I guess, saying my new program one more time. It's called Podcast Done with You. Podcast Done with You. And what we do is we work collaboratively with my team, and we help you make sure that your podcast has all the elements it requires to help people and influence others and bring you return on your investment. We'll help you set up your recordings and your intros and your outros. We'll help you get distributed on Amazon Music, Google Play, Apple, and more. And then we'll help you connect your social medias. So all of your social media will be nourished automatically by your podcast. Every single time you air an episode, it will effortlessly flow out and show up on all your socials, so that even if you take a trip for a couple weeks, it will look to the world like you're very active and crazy and wild and happy on your socials, as people think I am. Just as a hint, I don't go on Facebook. Hardly ever. It's all done automatically for me. My podcasts. Yes, that. How good is that? So thank you again and have a most amazing day. Thank you for listening.